If you loved me, you'd wait for me to choose between you and him, she demanded. So I made the choice for her and ghosted. Now the other guy dumped her, and I just blocked her 14th email. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. Hey everyone, I've been lurking on here for a while, reading stories that hit a little too close to home. Figured it was time to share mine. This all went down about a year ago, but the fallout is still fresh in some ways. I'm writing this from a place of peace now, but man, getting here wasn't easy. Buckle up, it's a long one, but if you've ever been strung along in a relationship, this might resonate. Names changed, obviously. I met Sarah 5 years ago at a mutual friend's barbecue in the suburbs outside our mid-sized city. She was vibrant, ambitious, the kind of person who lights up a room with her laugh. I was working as a software engineer at a stable tech firm, pulling in decent money, but nothing flashy. She was in marketing, always chasing the next big campaign, full of ideas and energy. We clicked instantly, late-night talks about dreams, weekend hikes, the whole package. I fell hard. Early on, I showed her how committed I was. When she lost her job 2 years into our relationship, layoffs hit her company hard. I covered the rent on our apartment without a second thought. I even turned down a promotion that would have meant relocating because she was job hunting locally and didn't want the stress of moving. We'll build this together, I'd tell her, and I meant it. Flashback to one night. She's crying on the couch after another rejection email, and I hold her, saying, Sarah, I've got us. Take your time, find something that excites you. She looked up with those big eyes and whispered, You're my rock. I believed we were solid. But things started shifting about 6 months before the end. Sarah got a new gig at a trendy agency downtown, and suddenly, she was all about networking events and late nights at the office. Her phone buzzed constantly, and she'd angle it away when I glanced over. I'd ask casually, Everything good? And she'd snap, It's work, Alex. Not everyone clocks out at 5 like you. It stung, but I chalked it up to stress. I kept being the supportive guy, cooking dinners she barely touched, planning date nights she canceled for team happy hours. Then came the red flags I couldn't ignore. She'd mention this coworker, Mark, way too often. Mark's so creative, he pitched this wild idea today. Or Mark and I grabbed coffee to brainstorm. I felt that pit in my stomach, but I didn't want to be the jealous type. One evening, we're on the couch watching a show, and her phone lights up with a text from him. Missed you at the bar tonight. Winky face. She laughed it off when I asked. Just work friends being silly. But the confusion set in. Why the winky face? Why hide it? It built slowly, that unfairness gnawing at me. I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering what I was doing wrong. Was I too predictable? Too reliable? I replayed our good times. That road trip where we got lost and laughed about it for hours. Or the time I surprised her with tickets to her favorite band. I'd sacrificed pieces of myself to make us work, and now it felt like I was fading into the background. The betrayal hit its peak one Friday night. I'd come home early with takeout from her favorite spot, hoping to reconnect. She was on the balcony, phone in hand, giggling at something. When she came inside, her face shifted to that fake neutral I knew too well. We need to talk, she said, setting her phone face down. I sat on the couch, heart pounding. What's going on, Sarah? She paced a bit, then stopped and looked at me with this mix of pity and defiance. Alex, I've been feeling torn. Mark and I have been getting close. It's not physical, yet, but emotionally, he gets me in ways you don't anymore. Your life's so steady, predictable. I need time to figure out what I want. I felt like the floor dropped out. Torn. You've been seeing him behind my back. Not seeing, talking, sharing ideas. He's ambitious, pushes me to think bigger. She crossed her arms, like I was the one overreacting. If you loved me, you'd wait for me to choose between you and him. Give me space to sort this out. It's not fair to rush me. There it was, that entitled demand. Wait for her to choose. Like I was some option on a menu. Her tone was smug, almost challenging, as if testing how far she could push. Mark challenges me, Alex. You just support me. It's sweet, but I need more fire. I sat there, the takeout growing cold on the table, confusion turning to a quiet ache. Why was my loyalty a flaw? I'd given up that promotion for her stability, handled the bills when she couldn't, and now I was predictable. The unfairness burned, But I didn't lash out. I just nodded slowly, letting the silence stretch. Inside, though, something shifted. I wasn't going to beg. That night, after her little speech, I didn't sleep. I lay in our bed, her side empty because she needed space, and crashed on the couch, replaying her words. If you loved me, you'd wait. It was manipulation wrapped in logic, making me the villain if I didn't play along. But the more I thought about it, the clearer it became. I wasn't an option. I was done being her safety net. The next morning, she was in the kitchen, making coffee like nothing happened. She poured me a cup, sliding it over with a tentative smile. So, about last night. You'll give me time, right? I just need to explore this, see if it's real with Mark. I took a sip, staring at the steam rising. My voice came out even, calmer than I felt. Sarah, let's be clear. You've already been emotionally involved with him. That's cheating in my book, hiding texts, late nights, comparing me to him. She rolled her eyes, leaning against the counter. Oh, come on, Alex. It's not cheating if I'm honest now. I'm being transparent. Most guys would appreciate that. And it's not like you've been exciting lately. Same routines, same job. Mark inspires me. He talks about traveling, starting side hustles. You just want to stay put. Her justifications twisted like a knife. So, your solution is for me to sit here while you date him? Test drive the options. Not date. Figure it out. She raised her voice, getting defensive. If you really cared, you'd understand I'm confused. Love means patience. Mark says. I cut in quietly, but firm. You're quoting him now. She huffed, crossing her arms again. Yes, because he gets it. He thinks I deserve to choose without pressure. You're making this about you, but it's my journey. If you push me away, that's on you. The hypocrisy floored me, her journey at my expense. But I didn't yell or beg. I set the coffee down and looked her in the eye. Sarah, I won't wait. I'm making the choice for you. We're done. Her face twisted in shock, then smug dismissal. Fine, if that's how you want it. You'll regret this when you realize no one else will put up with your boring life. Mark's already planning a weekend getaway. Real adventure, not your Netflix nights. She kept going, listing my flaws like a checklist. Too dependable, not spontaneous enough, financially safe, but not thrilling. It was cruel, designed to hurt, but I let it wash over me. I wish you luck with that, I said simply, standing up. What, that's it? No fighting for us. She laughed bitterly. See? That's why I'm torn. You don't even care enough to argue. I care enough to know when to walk away. With that, I grabbed my keys and left for a walk to clear my head. When I got back that evening, she was out, probably with him. I packed a bag quietly, essentials only, and called a buddy in a city a few hours away about crashing on his couch. By midnight, I'd changed the locks, it was my name on the lease, forwarded my mail, and blocked her on everything temporarily. No note, no drama. Just gone. The silence after was deafening. I drove through the night, replaying the conversation, the unfairness settling like fog. Why fight for someone who saw me as a backup? But in that detachment, a spark of dignity flickered. I wasn't going to be her fallback plan. Leaving Sarah behind wasn't just about walking out that door. It was about untangling myself from a life I'd poured everything into. That first week, crashing on my buddy Jake's couch in a new city, I felt like I was floating in limbo. The apartment we'd shared, the routines we'd built, the way I'd dimmed my own ambitions to lift hers, it all haunted me. I'd lie awake, replaying her words. If you loved me, you'd wait. The audacity of it burned, but so did the question, was I really not enough? I didn't wallow long. I needed to move forward, not because I was strong, but because staying stuck felt like letting her win. Jake helped me find a small studio apartment, nothing fancy, just a fresh start. I landed a remote position at a new tech firm, better pay, more creative freedom. I started therapy, too, something I'd never considered before. The therapist, a no-nonsense guy named Dr. Patel, asked me point blank in our first session, Alex, what do you want? Not what you think you should. I didn't have an answer then, but it was the first time I realized I'd been living for someone else's script. Slowly, I rebuilt. I joined a local climbing gym, something I'd always wanted to try but put off because Sarah thought it was too niche. I got into photography, capturing cityscapes at dawn. I even started a small side project, a coding blog that gained a modest following. For the first time in years, I was doing things for me. The confusion faded, replaced by a quiet clarity. Her betrayal had freed me to find myself. Meanwhile, Sarah's world was crumbling. I didn't have to dig to know. Jake, still connected to our old mutual friends, filled me in without me asking. Apparently, Mark wasn't the adventurous soulmate she'd painted him as. He'd been stringing her along, using her for a fling while still hung up on his ex. About 2 months after I left, he ditched Sarah when his ex came back into the picture. Worse, their workplace chemistry got messy, late-night texts got noticed by HR, and Sarah's unprofessional behavior during a project meltdown cost her the job. No severance, no references. She'd posted vague, dramatic stuff on social media about learning who your real friends are, but our old crew started pulling away when they heard my side. Turns out, her public flirting with Mark hadn't gone unnoticed, and people weren't impressed. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. Her downfall wasn't my victory. It was just the natural consequence of her choices. But the unfairness still lingered sometimes. I'd sacrificed so much, turned down that promotion, paid her bills, and she'd treated me like a placeholder. Therapy helped me sit with that, let it hurt without letting it define me. I wasn't angry anymore. I was just done. Then her text started. About 3 months after I'd ghosted, my phone buzzed with a number I'd unblocked out of curiosity. "Alex, can we talk? I made a huge mistake." I didn't respond. A week later, another. "Mark was a jerk. I see that now. You were always the stable one." Stable. Like that was an insult before, but now it was her lifeline. I let them pile up, unanswered, a small stack of regret she'd sent into the void. The messages didn't stop. By month 4, Sarah's tone shifted from apologetic to entitled, then outright unhinged. It was like watching someone unravel through a screen. One voicemail came late at night, her voice shaky but laced with that familiar self-justification. "Alex, it's me. I know you're mad, but I chose you now, okay? Mark was a mistake. He lied to me, used me. I'm in a bad place, and you're not even answering. If you ever cared, you'd pick up." I didn't. Her words echoed the same manipulation as before. "If you cared, you'd do what I want." I wasn't playing that game anymore. Then her sister, Lauren, got involved. Lauren and I never got along. She was the type to stir drama and call it helping. One afternoon, my phone rang with her name. I let it go to voicemail, but curiosity got me. "Alex, this is Lauren." Her voice dripped with condescension. "Sarah's a mess because you just up and left her. She's broke, living with me, and can't even get out of bed some days. You think you're some saint, ghosting her like that? She needs you, and you're too selfish to even talk. Man up." I almost laughed at the irony. Sarah's family calling me selfish after she strung me along. I blocked Lauren's number. The mutual friends came next. Our old buddy Mike, who'd always been closer to Sarah, sent a text. "Hey, man, Sarah's really struggling. Maybe hear her out? She's learned her lesson." I replied with a polite, "Appreciate the concern, but I'm good," and left it at that. Mike didn't push, but I could tell the group was splitting. Most of them started siding with me once they heard about her choose between you and him stunt. By month 6, Sarah's emails were flooding my inbox. The first few were long, emotional pleas. "Alex, I'm so sorry. I was confused, and Mark took advantage of that. I know now you were the one who really loved me. Can we just meet for coffee?" Then they got desperate, almost frantic. "I'm living in a shitty apartment, no job, no friends. You can't just erase me like this. I need you." By the 10th email, she was angry. "You're heartless, Alex. I made one mistake, and you're acting like I'm nothing. You'll regret throwing me away when you're alone forever." The 14th email came a week before our mutual friend Tara's birthday party. It was a novel, paragraphs of her spiraling, blaming me, then begging again. "I'll be at Tara's party. Please, just talk to me. I can't keep living like this, knowing you hate me." I read it, sighed, and hit block. Her words didn't move me anymore. They were noise, not substance. I wasn't her savior, and I wasn't her villain. I was just done. Tara's birthday party was at a rooftop bar downtown, the kind of place with string lights and overpriced cocktails. I almost didn't go. Big gatherings weren't my thing anymore. But Tara had been a solid friend, one of the few who'd checked in after the breakup without picking sides. Plus, I'd been casually seeing someone, Emma, a kind, grounded woman I met at the climbing gym. Nothing serious yet, but she was easy to be around, no games. I brought her along, figuring it'd be a fun night. I didn't expect Sarah to show up, but there she was, across the room, looking out of place in a too-tight dress, her eyes scanning the crowd. When they landed on me, her face lit up, then faltered when she saw Emma laughing at my side. I braced myself. This was it, the moment I'd known was coming. She approached, weaving through the crowd, her smile forced. "Alex," she said, voice trembling but trying to sound casual. "Can we talk? Just for a minute. I've been trying to reach you." Emma glanced at me, sensing the tension, but I gave her a reassuring nod before turning to Sarah. "What's there to say?" My tone was flat, not cruel, just empty of investment. Her eyes welled up, but there was that edge of desperation I'd read in her emails. "I messed up, okay? Mark was a liar, and I lost everything. My job, my friends, my confidence. You were the best thing I had, and I see that now. Please, can we just try again?" The old me might have felt a pang, but that guy was gone. I looked at her, really looked, her nervous fidgeting, the way she kept glancing at Emma like she was measuring herself. It was sad, but it wasn't my problem. "Sarah," I said, calm and clear, "you made your choice a long time ago. You wanted to figure it out with him, and I respected that by walking away. I've built a life now, one you don't factor into. You need to move on." Her face twisted, a mix of hurt and anger. "So that's it? You're just done with me?" "You're standing there with her." She gestured at Emma, acting like I meant nothing. "I'm drowning, Alex, and you don't even care." "I don't," I said simply, and it was true. The words weren't meant to cut, they were just fact. "I cared once, enough to give you everything. But you wanted to choose, so I chose myself. That's it." She opened her mouth, then closed it, tears spilling over. The rooftop chatter faded as a few heads turned, but I didn't flinch. Emma squeezed my arm lightly, grounding me. Sarah stammered, "You'll regret this," but it sounded hollow, like she didn't believe it herself. She turned and left, nearly tripping over a chair, her exit as unsteady as her life had become. Later, Tara pulled me aside. "She's been spiraling for months," she whispered. "No one's sticking around her anymore. She burned too many bridges." I nodded, unbothered. Sarah's downfall wasn't my victory. It was just her reality now. I went back to Emma, to the laughter, to the life I'd built without her shadow. That night, under the string lights, I felt free, not because she lost, but because she was finally, completely irrelevant. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.